Hey everyone, and welcome to episode 3 of Too Candid. I'm Sophie.
I'm Leah.
And today we are going to be diving back into the realm of Reddit.
Did we ever leave?
No, we didn't. However, after Leah's episode last week of Am I the Arsehole, I kind of wanted to talk about a few. And then after that, we will kind of be going back to some more confessions, and we will be coming back and forward to these subjects. So just expect that from us. So, I've picked all of them today. So, Leah is
unaware
of what we're going to be discussing. So, this one I feel very strongly about. And it says, am I the arsehole for grounding my daughter? My daughter, aged 14, pierced her helix and conch last night. She already had her first and second lobe piercing. She did her second lobes by herself as well. But I'm completely against any more piercings because personally, I think they look tacky and encourage getting tattoos. She did it without my permission in the bathroom. She was sanitary, and as far as I know, she used proper equipment, but I was still enraged by this. So today I took her phone and computer away and her new boots, and don't intend on giving them back to her until at least April, so she knows what happens when she doesn't follow my rules. She's been whining about it. However, a couple of her friends have said when their daughters were her age, they did similar stuff, and I need to lighten up because it's normal. So am I the arsehole?
Yeah.
100%.
Easy.
100%. I don't like this for many reasons, but what, does she just want a carbon copy of herself? Does she not want to let her daughter express herself?
Yeah, but how are you going to say she did her second holes herself? That was fine. So how are you going to say that? But oh no, if you put any more holes in your body, like what? Like I think once you've had one hole, like hole's a hole, isn't it?
What's another?
Exactly.
I've got 31 piercings and only one tattoo. So I've been pierced 31 times. My mum didn't love it. My dad took me for a lot of them. But that's who I am. That's what I want to do to my body. And I just don't like the way she's like, she doesn't follow my rules. Yeah. Like, fuck your rules.
I mean, maybe if it was something like an eyebrow piercing or something, or like a tongue piercing, maybe I could understand because, like, that's a bit different at 14.
Like facial piercings that can leave scars.
Yeah, at 14 could be, like, too early without permission. But if it's, like, in the ears, really?
To be fair, I think I'm really disappointed in this poster because I've got both my helix, both my conch done on both ears, and I would class them as like a bigger ear piercing. And the fact that the daughter felt like she had to do that on her own in the bathroom because her mum clearly wouldn't take her to get that piercing, I find really sad because I find getting piercings really enjoyable. I like the pain, you know.
Maybe she likes the pain if she's doing it herself.
Maybe, but I just feel like, is she that up her own arse that she doesn't care? Like, yeah, she said, oh, it's, you know,
it will lead to tattoos. How will it lead to tattoos either?
Because I've only got one tattoo. I do want more, but I feel like piercings are more temporary than tattoos. Obviously, tattoos, you've got to go through like...
Yeah, because like with a hole, it will either be too small to see or it'll close up.
No, it's true. I think so many parents think, just because I birthed you, I can tell you what to wear, I can tell you what to do with yourself. And at the end of the day, when she is old enough to...
She'll do it anyway.
She'll do it anyway, whether you want to do it or not. So do you want to see it as that parent that limits their daughter? Or do you want to sit there
Why are you speaking so blunt?
I don't know. But do you want to be that person that doesn't support their child in what, like, expression and finding themselves? Because at the end of the day, when you're older, she'll cut you off. If you're this controlling over something like a piercing...
Sure, it'd be different if, like, she didn't have any piercings to begin with and then she went and did it. Do you know what I mean? Because then it's different, because then it could be, like, she doesn't know what she's doing and stuff like that. But clearly she's fine with the other piercings, so it just sounds like she's being dramatic. It's more like a power trip than the actual thing of a piercing.
But, like, to take away... I understand, like, punishment and that, but she's literally said she's taken away her phone, computer and her new boots until at least April.
Yeah,
we've only just hit March.
That is so dramatic. I'd just say to her, like, you need to go grip yourself.
Ain't that deep.
It ain't that deep.
It ain't that deep.
But I'd be like, sorry, but like, these are my human rights you're taking away. Don't take away my phone.
I just think your daughter is going to do it regardless. So do you want to be seen as that person that person.
The thing is, I feel like with parenting, I'm obviously not a parent, but I feel like you kind of have to pick your battles, you know what I mean? Like, when you try to stand really strong on something that isn't that serious, then you're just going to make your child lose respect for you and then just, like, never run anything past you, do you know what I mean?
And then...
if it was, like, an actual, like, something that you would need permission for, if it was, like, a health and safety issue, do you know what I mean? Something like that, then, obviously you need to listen to your mum. So then, obviously, the mum would have to stand strong to prove a point, take her stuff away. But, like, with something like that, I mean, come on.
And the thing is, in my eyes, a piercing is a small thing. So can you imagine if the daughter has something really pressing or important or bigger that they feel like they want to speak to their mum about, but they feel like they can't because they will punish them? That's just going to be a slippery slope. Like, you need to be...
Yeah, but she'll just rebel more, innit? She'll just...
Yeah.
Why stop there? And do you know what? She'll probably, like, once she gets a bit of money, she'll probably just, like, buy her own phone. So if her mum took away one phone, she'd have her own phone that she could.
But she shouldn't have to. I just think, the mum is a massive Karen. Sorry to all you Karens out there that aren't Karens, but to me, she's a Karen and an arsehole. So, yeah. What I find sad about this, I found the thread where the daughter had actually found what her mum had posted.
Oh, really?
So, and she literally wrote something like, I didn't realise my mum didn't like me this much, or something like that. And I thought that was more heartbreaking.
And I mean, the fact, if you're a parent and you're creating the rules and stuff, clearly she's not very sure about her decision if she's going to ask a bunch of strangers on the internet if she's an arsehole.
Well, great segue there, Leah, because I then carried on looking and, like, you know, when they can make edits and they're like, edit.
Yeah.
She kept going back and making more edits. So she was like, for everyone saying I don't allow self-expression, that's an utter lie. I allow expression as long as I approve it.
Approved expression is fine.
But as long as I approve your self-expression, then you can express that. And then she said, and for those of you calling me judgmental and toxic just based off this post, you are exactly what you're accusing me of if you're going to determine my entire personality based off of one post.
Very defensive behaviour.
And then she said, she just kept editing it. And then she was like, some people are asking what would happen if my son did the same thing, or why I would rather have a son. I'm simply better at raising males than I am females.
What?
And if my son did the same thing, I would take away all of his electronics beside his phone because he needs to talk to his wrestling buddies and coach. Now, I think she's probably written something else which is removed, because obviously what we've just read doesn't include that. And that's why I think when the daughter was like, I didn't realise my mum didn't like me that much, it kind of makes sense. And then her final edit was, I gave her the phone back so all of you can stop being mean to me about that, for God's sake. Did your parents not teach you any manners? Seriously, making fun of me without knowing anything about me besides this post.
Oh my God, so basically she's just giving in because of the shame. But how is she saying if she had a son, he'd be allowed his phone, but because she's a girl, she's not allowed her phone?
Honestly.
How does that make... And the fact that she said that she's better at raising sons than daughters, how does that make sense? Honestly, like, maybe she shouldn't raise either if she can't raise
she shouldn't
both.
Reproduce.
Like, it's a bit... Okay.
No, I know, but I just thought that I just wanted to add that into the end because
I just think some people probably are just made like to be parents. They're probably just not cut out for it.
And sadly, people learn from people, so God knows what her parents were like.
Imagine this, because now she's given the phone back to her daughter, so now her daughter's got her phone back, but now she's got this really like weird elephant in the room, like this friction with her mum. So now, like, their relationship's probably not going to be great now.
No, and I find it really sad, especially going back to like, the son thing, when she was like, you know, he still needs to be in contact with his coach buddies. His coach wrestling buddies. Like, I'm sorry, what? And what, your daughter doesn't need to be in contact with her friends? And, you know, someone that is sane and not you controlling piece of shit. Yeah. Anyway, when I have children, if they want piercings, they can... Because I love piercings. If they want piercings, they can. If they don't, they don't. If they want tattoos, they can. You know, as long as I think tattoos are more permanent, so they kind of...
what, as well, I thought about it the other day, because like, it's a bit of a tangent, but I know how, like, obviously in America, especially, I think, like, obviously, the sons get circumcised, and that's a big, should you do it, should you not do it? But then, like, on the girl side, it's like, do you get their ears pierced, do you not get their ears pierced? And it's like, oh my God, like, we had our ears pierced when we were babies, but then if you had a baby, would you get their ears pierced when they were a baby?
Wouldn't.
Like, do you know what I mean? It's like, it's
Yeah.
weird.
I'm like, for me, I'm glad my parents did it because
Yeah.
I like them now. But when I have a child, I won't be piercing their ears till they're old enough to say they want to.
Do you know what? The only reason why I probably wouldn't is because I am not having to have the responsibility of not giving them, like, an infection in their ear piercing.
But you know what? It's funny that you say about the circumcision thing because I watched, you know, that YouTube channel Cut where they're like 100 people talk about this, 100 people talk about. It's great. You should watch it. They were talking about people saying, "Are you circumcised or uncircumcised?" And I heard the word so many times. I said to James, "It doesn't sound like a word anymore." But literally, someone said like, "I'd actually quite liked to have my foreskin," and like, there's the consent there, isn't there? I know it's like health reasons, but I do like in the UK. Children don't get circumcised as a standard unless it's religious, like unless it's religion based. So I'd like to know why in America every single person near enough is.
And actually, that's actually weirder, isn't it? Because like to circumcise someone, yeah, it's probably better to do when they're a baby, so they don't remember that pain, and obviously that's just like normal for them. But at the same time, you can't get foreskin back. Yeah. Like, what if they didn't want it to be cut off?
One of the people did say, I have been looking at techniques how to stretch to make a new... Anyway, that was a segment in itself. Next one is, am I the arsehole for splitting finances with my wife in half even though I make more money? I know I seem extremely petty, but hear me out. You know when they say that, it's going to be petty. I got a huge salary hike during January. I finally got a job and quintupled my salary. Now my wife wants me to split costs according to our salary. I find this extremely unfair. Back when we were engaged, we agreed to pay equal amounts for rent and bills, even though I made significantly less money than her. I hate to say it, I really love her, but I feel like she wants to eat her cake and have it too. She can't change her mind on finances like this, can she? So am I the arsehole?
I don't really think he is, which is weird because originally I would have thought, yeah. But, like, when she was making more, she didn't want it to be fair. Do you know what I mean? When she was making, and he said significantly more she was making than him before originally, and she didn't want to do, she wanted to do 50-50 because it worked out better for her. Do you know what I mean? And he just accepted it and he took it. But now that she was on the other foot, now she don't want it because she wants his money. Well, funny enough, you didn't want to give your money when you had more. So I'm sorry, in terms of equality, no, she's the arsehole.
So I think he is the arsehole, and here's my reason why. When they were dating, engaged, whatever, they were, they can do it 50-50. But now they're married, they are literally, when you're married, it's an agreement. Obviously, people can do what they want with their finances. I'm not saying don't, but normally you're going in there to have a lifelong commitment with someone, and it's like he's thinking in ways of, if I was to walk away, do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like, no, Leah, let me get this out. I do think that when you become married, what if you don't, well, what's the point in getting married then? Like, obviously for love. I'm not saying
for finances.
No, I'm not saying for not. But like when you're making a commitment together. Like, I know it's not. Some people say what's yours is mine, all that. James and I still have our house finances which we pay together, and then we have our own accounts because for us that works for us. But even when we first moved out and we were dating, we very much were like, it's based on a percentage of what we earn, which is fair. So we always started off that way and we've carried on that way. But if he said that it would be different if he was like, I've got a £10,000 pay rise, for example. It says here that he has quintupled. How much is quin?
At least 5, I think.
So, do you know what I mean? That's a much more significantly large value. So what he wants his wife to suffer financially, what's he going to do with all that money anyway?
Okay, look, this is why you're wrong. Firstly, I don't believe that he'd actually stick to that because he seems like this is literally just because of a point. Do you know what I mean? I feel like if she didn't make such a solid point about it in the beginning of their relationship, then he would have no problems. He would have been like, yeah, that's fine, I'll do it. But because she was so funny about her money to begin with, now he's thinking, well, why should I? Do you know what I mean? So I'd probably be the same because I'd be like, I'm sorry, but when it was the other way around, you getting more than me, Sophie, he probably had to suffer back then with the bill. So bear in mind, at the minute, I'm passionate about this. At the minute, she is probably on decent wage, yeah, because she always earned more than him. So she's always been fine. There was times where he probably had to struggle. Now, they're probably both cushy, yeah, with how much they earn. So she's not like she's struggling. It's just that she wants more of his money so she can go spend her money wherever she wants. No. Do you know what is Sophie, yeah, as well? Is that you say about, oh no, because they're married now. Okay, well, he's only just recently got this raise, and the whole time they've been married, it hasn't been fair. So don't tell me, in terms of equality, I've really got to back this man, because I'm sorry, no, she just wants to have she wants to have her cake and eat it, and you should not, like, okay, maybe adjust it slightly, but it shouldn't be a significant adjustment. He'd be like, okay, I'll put a little bit more in. No, just because it's quadrupled by 5 doesn't mean it should then go like that. He could maybe just do a little adjustment, but no, he earned his money fair and square. And maybe if she wasn't such a bitch to begin with, and it was equal from the beginning, yeah, funny how now he's got this quadruple pay rise. Oh, now it's fine. Now I'm sorry, yeah, I stand by this man. I got very passionate about that, didn't I?
I feel like I've been told off.
Well, because you're wrong.
Well, I'd like to say that the people actually voted on the Reddit that he is the arsehole.
Oh, yeah, of course they would. Of course they would. Because it's a poor woman that wants more money. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, Joe, he'll probably go back on it.
Thing is, I understand what you're saying. I understand that. And, I'm not saying I don't. But at the end of the day, obviously, we don't know. It's a very short-worded post. But if, for example, she is going to, say they want to have children, her salary is going to drop anyway. If, she just asks about part-time and look after children, put them in daycare. Daycare's expensive. We don't know. We haven't got enough information. So I understand what you're saying. Don't get me wrong.
But it was fine when he was struggling.
But we don't know if he was struggling, Leah.
You
are assuming.
He said... What was the quote he said? That he earned significantly less.
Yes, but how much?
I made significantly less.
But how much is significant? How much is it? I don't know the average salary of someone in the US, but I presume this is US.
Okay, but you're telling me, does he sound like a man that would do it to be spiteful or to be an arsehole?
It sounds...
Or do you think he's doing it because he's thinking, hang on a second, he had to go through all that time with having the massive gap, and she was fine with it.
Yeah.
She was probably ordering takeaways, probably buying herself clothes. He was probably on the breadline. No.
You don't know that. All I'm saying is, right, this is purely out of principle, and I feel like...
Yeah, because, Sophie, do you not see? When she earned more, it suited her. Now he's earning more. It would suit her to change it.
We do not know how much they were both on. We do not know if he was on the breadline.
No... We don't know the amounts, but we just know she still earned significantly more than him at one stage. Okay. And now he's earning significantly more than her. Now.
I'm
saying he should hold his guns just to prove a point for a little bit longer, just because she's trying to take him for a mug, let's not lie. But then, yeah, he should adjust it, but it shouldn't have to be a massive, massive jump. But yeah, he could alter it. But then also, he could just spend that extra money, like paying for stuff when they go for activities and stuff like that. Some takeaways.
Yeah, I don't think you're wrong on there, but
I'm not wrong.
But I think this is where people have their own financial things that they go through as well.
But this is the thing. This is a whole communication issue. They had the whole communication. They agreed on that. Did she ever say, "Oh, if you ever earn more, we'll retalk that"?
Okay, all right.
Probably not, because she probably didn't think he'd ever get a quintuple.
I am changing it, and I think everybody sucks. I think everybody, like you say, in the beginning, she was quite happy with that. So yeah, fine, I do see that side. But now I'm like, you're both married. Now it's just out of principle. I just think everybody sucks. I think money is the root of everyone's problems. Yeah. It causes arguments. It causes jealousy. Just money just causes things from people that makes you really uncomfortable.
Let's spend the money. No, but I'm in the situation where at one point I was earning more than my partner, and we're currently trying to save up. At one point, I've always earned more than him up to a certain point, so I always save. He didn't even really save, to be honest. I did, and now he's earning more money than me. And now I say I still save a chunk. But now I'm saying like, yeah, well, you can put a chunk and then a little bit in. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, because you paid for, I understand that, but then you're right, it's communication. But I do just think that money just causes a lot of problems. So everyone sucks. You know, we should just be happy. It's 2022. We should just try and everyone be happy and not argue.
And the thing is as well, yeah, she's saying about making it even and stuff. But you never know, with his extra money, he could obviously adjust it slightly, but then he could be using that extra money to, you know, save it away, like, you know, for them, for their retirement, stuff like that. So if they've been living on this money all this time and they're not struggling too bad, which he didn't say, then you can still live within your means, but then use that money for the future or for your children. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, okay, yeah, I do. Okay, you've brought me around on this one, but I still think everybody sucks.
No.
Just because I don't know. I feel like I need more information.
We don't. We know all we need to know.
I feel like I just want I want the spreadsheet with the finances. I want to understand fully. I want to know what this quintuple salary is.
I actually feel like, is there something wrong with me? Because I see a lot of situations very clean cut.
Because half the time you're saying it ain't that deep.
Anyway, what's the next one?
So, am I the arsehole for ruining both my parents' marriages for disowning me? I am the byproduct of my parents' extramarital affair. Both of them had spouses at the time. My birth mother got pregnant and had to tell her husband as he was overseas when I was conceived, so there was no way I was his. A few months after I was born, they decided not to divorce. I was given to my grandparents on my mother's side to raise with my birth father secretly paying child support without his wife's knowledge. Both my parents had other children. My dad's side knows nothing about me, but my siblings on my mum's side were told I am adopted by my grandparents. Recently, I decided that I wanted to know more about my dad's family, and I sent a friend's request to one of my siblings and my dad so I could get to know him. Well, he freaked out and contacted my birth mum, and they asked to speak to me over Skype. They both told me that they couldn't risk staying in contact with me and told me that they were going no contact and to please respect it and move on with my life. Well, I did pretty much the opposite.
Yes!
I contacted my dad's wife and shared screenshots of our conversations and told her everything. She is now divorcing him, while on my mother's side, I told both my siblings, who went full on her and told the extended family, including her husband's side, so now they are separated and my siblings hate my mother. Currently, my siblings on both sides' lives have been upturned, and after the satisfaction has worn off, I feel like I unnecessarily hurt them through my parents. Am I the arsehole for ruining my parents' marriages?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely
I'm sorry,
not.
yeah. She never asked to be born, yeah, first of all. And then she obviously feels like there's a part of her missing, that she obviously would want a relationship. So then to get that rejection, and then they just want to keep her away like she's some dirty secret. I would have done the same. I would have been like, look, this is what your husband is, a massive piece of shit, because I'm here trying to create a relationship and he don't want me. Nah, yeah. What a joke. This is what gets me. Like, and also, yeah, obviously they cheated. I don't condone cheating at all. You obviously should tell the person if you're going to cheat or if you accidentally cheat, I don't know. But if you're going to do, in-person cheating is obviously significantly worse, because you've physically gone, pulled your jeans down, whacked it in. But do you know what I mean? So what I'm trying to say is that, like, physical cheating, I just think, like, all cheating cannot be condoned. But when it's a physical cheat, how are you going to go and put your peen in someone else's poon and not tell someone first? Do you know what I mean? Because how do you get that far into cheating that you're not going to communicate that to the person that you're with, to be like, I don't want to be with you, I'm going to go do this? Do you know what I mean? Like, if you were going to cheat on James, yeah, and you knew you were going to physically go and sleep with someone else, why would you not just tell him before then and then just go and do it?
Because some people are a piece of shit, and some people are like just assholes, and they want to have their cake and eat it. They want to have, their family, and then they just want to sleep with other people, and that's just how some people are. I don't condone it. I don't agree with it. But
that's why I find it disgusting, because, like, I'm putting the emphasis on the physical cheating, because doing that, lying is bad enough, but then when you're physically doing something, like, this is where consent comes into it. Because, listen,
Wait, I'm confused. I don't know what you're arguing about anymore.
No, because listen, yeah. So if James had an affair, yeah,
Yeah.
and then didn't tell you, but that now comes a consent issue, because if he then comes home and sleeps with you, how's that? That's not consensual.
Yeah, it's
because you would never have consented to that sex if you knew he. So then, where's the consent? There's no consent.
There's no informed consent regarding the change of circumstance.
And that's
I
like,
understand.
That's like a violation. That's like a breach of trust. I'd almost nearly go and saying assault, because you would never let someone near you that obviously you know that's going to cause someone so much hurt. You end up sleeping with them.
Okay, I understand. I think I got a bit confused where you were going with it, because you've kind of missed the point a little bit of what the poster, what the OP was, putting out there. That's why I think I was like, wait, where are we going? But I understand the informed consent for the people who cheated partners.
Yeah.
I understand. And I agree. I think that's disgusting. However, my heart goes out to this poster because they are practically saying to her, we just need you to pretend you don't exist.
We don't want you.
We don't want you. So yeah, I'd been like out the side of the front of the house with a sign like, I am yours. I just think it's disgusting. Don't get me wrong. I think everyone's body, they are entitled to whatever they want to do with it. And that I am very, pro-choice when it comes to pregnancy. I'm whatever you want to do. But the fact that they were like, right, what we're going to do, we're going to have this baby. Right. And then my mum is going to adopt this baby. And the fact that she can see that child every day, and she can then see her mum with her siblings acting like a mum, I feel like crying. Like, that is disgusting. And they should be ashamed of themselves for cheating, creating this person that, like you said, didn't ask to be born, was born as a byproduct of their adultery, pretty much. Yeah. And then they were like, right, yeah, I need you to pretend not to exist. And the fact that she knows who her mum and dad are, like, this is a horrible thing to say. I'm just trying to get all, like, points out there. She didn't need to know who her parents were. She could have just, they could have made anything up and said, oh yeah, these two people have adopted you. But the fact that she knew who her mum and dad were, so it's like they were dangling it in front of them, like, this is who I am, but I don't want you to talk to me, refer to me as mum, refer to me as dad. And do you know what? She is not an arsehole. I am so proud of her for doing that. And yeah, okay, she upturned her siblings' lives, but that is not on her. That is on her mum and dad.
Do you know what it is as well? Like, literally, everything always comes out in the end. Do you know what I mean?
Comes out in the wash.
So that's why it's better to just always be the one to tell someone. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, that's why you should never let someone find something out on their own terms. You should be big enough and man enough to tell them. Do you know what I mean? Because if you're big enough to do it, you're big enough to tell them and be honest. So I just think people think by withholding that information, it will just go away and no one will ever find out. But that's not how it works, because the truth always comes out in the end. Yeah, I just think it's so out of order, because it's like she's having to deal with rejection, but she's not a baby no more. And they're not people trying to hide a secret no more. Do you know what I mean? They're like, you think they would have got a bit wiser as they got older. But no, like, it's just so disrespectful on so many levels. So yeah, good. You should have ruined their marriages.
Sorry. I agree.
Because if he wasn't being a dick, his wife wouldn't have left him.
No. And I think as well, can you imagine, like, being with someone and then find out they have a whole family or, like, a child, and you just think, oh my, like, and obviously his wife didn't even know they had the affair in the first place.
Oh my God.
Which goes back to that informed consent that you were talking about.
And that's the thing. That's what I heard on a podcast not that long ago, and then I was like, whoa, I didn't even think of it from that perspective. No. So yeah, that really, like, I was just like, that blew my mind. I was like, whoa. Mm-hmm. So yeah, basically, if you're going to do something like that, then just be big enough to be honest about it, basically.
And take accountability for your actions, and don't be a dick.
Yeah.
Right, next one. Am I the arsehole for saying I told you so when my wife got banned from seeing our grandson? My wife has been in constant contact with our daughter-in-law about plenty of things. Their very recent argument ensued after my wife kept insisting on being present in the delivery room despite getting a resounding no. My wife was having none of it, and after my son and his wife changed hospitals to throw my wife off, after she threatened to barge into the room, she eventually found out I didn't tell her and got very mad. I told her to stop and think, because if she keeps this up, she will lose all chances to see that grandbaby. She told me off and went to make a huge scene at the hospital my daughter-in-law was at. It did not end well, and my wife came home crying hysterically after getting chewed out by our son and kicked out of the hospital. Things remained tense till my son called to invite me to see the baby for the first time. He did not invite my wife, which sent her into a mental breakdown. I had an argument with her after she tried to guilt me into staying with her and shame my son for keeping his mum away from her grandbaby. But I told her, I told you so, and she said she had plenty of opportunities to get right with our daughter-in-law, but she blew them away because of her stubbornness. She started yelling about how unsupportive and cruel I was, just like our son, to be siding against her instead of defending her and staying home with her when her son banned from meeting her grandbaby. I went away and she kept arguing about me taking the wrong side instead of defending her. I feel bad for her, but at the same time, I think she was being irrational and made this a competition despite knowing how our son and wife felt about her behaviour.
Okay, well, how is he the arsehole? Like, the fact they had to change hospitals and she still persisted. So, and the fact that she actually even then went to the new hospital, like, first of all, she should have known that she'd never been allowed in, because at the end of the day, it's like the parents' decision who comes in or not. But, like, what is wrong with this lady? Like, she could just wait and then she'll be able to see the grandchild. But I don't really blame the parents for not letting her see the grandchild, because I just think if you were this, like, persistent that you're like, it's not really clicking in your brain, then it could be a safety issue. You could bloody end up kidnapping the baby. Because I get that you so want to see your grandchild, but like, how many times do you have to be told no? And obviously the granddad, he's like, seems like an alright guy, do you know what I mean? Like, he's very down to earth, he gets it. So why should he be punished and not see his first, was he grandson or granddaughter? I don't know. But why should he be punished for not seeing his grandchild just because his wife can't? I'd have been like, I told you, Deirdre, but you wouldn't listen. Now I'm going to the hospital. Goodbye. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry. Like, she did it to herself. How many times, if someone will not, it's all to do with consent. I said no. I said no 5 times. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, just bloody take the answer and then go and see him after. Done.
I think you're right. He's a sound guy. He ain't the arsehole. His wife is. This leads back to our episode 1, if you haven't seen this, with toxic mother-in-laws. I don't know what it is about some mother-in-laws. Again, I love mine. She's great. But some mother-in-laws, from what we've read, or even our friends have told us about, they don't know where the mark is. They don't know when enough is enough. And this lady crossed that line and ran a marathon over it.
That ain't about not knowing where the mark was, because they bloody told her where the mark was.
No, what I'm saying is...
She just didn't care.
But what I'm saying is, that's what I'm saying, like, that mark of, like...
The
boundary, she's run a marathon over it. Like, she's at 25 miles that way or 26 miles that way.
26.2.
26.2. So, you know... You're right, the fact that she said no, changed hospital. Why does she want to be in there? Like, I don't think, like, when I have a baby, hopefully, I would like my mum, James, and Leah. And everything that's happened with our dad right now, I'd probably let him in as well.
I mean, yeah, my plan was just to have, like, dad in there, but yeah.
So you don't want me in there with a GoPro? So I'll put it on my head. I've got the helmet and everything. But I just think that is, first of all, it's their first child. It's a scary thing anyway. Pregnancy is unpredictable. You don't know what's going to happen. And I don't think you would want to deal with someone so persistent during it. You know that she'd be like, right, you need to push. Not like that, like this. No, let me deliver this baby.
But it's not even about, like, when it gets to this stage, it's not even about not wanting her in the room. It's the fact that she's just not listening. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? And, like, I bet the granddad is so smug, like, goodbye, I'm off to the hospital. Do you know what I mean? But, like, he did tell her, like, she didn't want to listen. I don't know what she really thought was going to happen. They were eventually going to give in. Like, she was going to wear them down. Like, I don't...
Can you imagine her just, like, clocking in with scrubs and, like, oh... And who are you? I'm here to deliver the baby. It's like, get out. Like, she's just trying to, like, crawl in. I just think that she just sounds a bit unhinged to me, personally.
But then, okay, so obviously we know what side I'm on, yeah? But then, how long are they realistically going to stop her seeing the grandchild for?
I don't know, but they didn't put that.
Because, like, is this going to be, like, he's 21 years old and still not met his dad?
I think, but they need to set a precedent now. And I don't ever agree, putting this out there, I don't agree. Sorry, if you can hear chomping, that's my dog.
Eating a biscuit.
Eating a bonio. And it's the only way I can stop him from not destroying my blanket right now. I do not agree with withholding children in fights like this. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, like when people are like, you can't see my child because I'm mad at you. I don't agree with that. I think it's disgusting behaviour. Do not punish the child for whatever you've got going on. However, because this is involving the child being born, it's a bit different. But I do think they need to set a precedent now. So maybe she does need to learn that, you know, I've said no. No means no. There are repercussions to it.
But then as well, it's a bit awkward because they're in this, like, newborn bubble. They probably don't want her to meet the baby yet because they want to enjoy that time. And they probably know by having her around, there's going to be a lot of, like, tense feeling. When you've just had a baby, you're probably tired, your hormones are everywhere, you're probably so emotional anyway. Do you really want to have to deal with drama? You just want to enjoy the time, do you know what I mean? So they'll probably, like, wait a few weeks maybe until they've kind of come out of that bubble maybe.
But you just know she's not going to let this go. You know that, like, to her friends, she's going to be playing it up. Like, she sounds like one of these people that it will be, oh, poor me.
Yeah.
Well, sorry, it's your own fault, your own actions. And, like, I'm not being funny. While you're pushing out a baby, whether it's coming out the sunroof or that exit, you know, you don't really want a lot of people in there. You poo yourself, you're crying, you're in a lot of pain. And if you just want it to be you and your husband, that special moment, why should you have to deal with your mother-in-law being like that? Like, and I think it's sad that they've had to change the hospital and go through all of that stress. Yeah, the mother-in-law is an arsehole.
But yeah, like, but now the issue is like, when is she going to see her grandchild? Do you know what I mean? Like, that's probably the next issue because, like, that's been done now. That's in the past. But now it's, like, a current situation. Like, what's actually going to happen? But then, to be honest, like, yeah, I probably wouldn't want to deal with that. I'd probably be like, no, I don't even want to see her, right? They're probably livid, do you know what I mean? Like, you plan to go in and have a birth and try and keep it as calm and stress-free as possible. And then she's there, like, you're probably, what the fuck are you doing here, Susan?
Yeah. I can't believe things like this happen to people. But like, you think, like, if I said to you, like, Lee, I'm really sorry, I don't want you in there now, you'd be like, actually,
I'm already there. I don't know what you're doing.
But, like, you know, I feel like people, this isn't just a conversation that happens. Like, you talk about it, it's repeated. Like you said, they've said no, like, so many times. I just think that she needs therapy.
Well, I mean, to be fair, if she's got to this age and she's still like that, will therapy, you have to have an open mind. Leave my Air Forces alone.
He's gone straight for the Air Forces.
You have to have an open mind to go to therapy, like.
Yeah, and also it doesn't sound like she thinks she's done anything wrong. Ralph, what do you think?
Ralph, this is your segment.
Ralph, what do you think of this situation?
Do some ASMR nose breathing.
Anyway, I think that's where we're going to wrap up. We hope you enjoyed this episode. And we'll see you next time for another episode of
Too Candid.
Do you want to try and say Too Candid?
Say woof, 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 woof.
And he likes to eat cat shit. So
He won't stop kissing me.
anyway, see you later.
Bye.